My guitar teacher once told me, everyone in this world is a musician, but only a few get paid for it. You see, everyone is a storyteller. They're telling themselves stories right now, or they're telling stories to someone else. So people like Bruce Springsteen, all he did was take something that he went through or saw someone go through and bring it to life with a guitar, a band, a microphone, and it changed his life and it changed other people's lives. The story you tell yourself every day is going to either keep you in the same spot or progress and you can start to make money from it. So the storytellers that I look up to, I mean, it's the greatest directors like John Carpenter, okay? Bruce Springsteen, Tom Petty. These are all storytellers and they get paid handsomely for it. And these are my heroes. I look up to these people because they're able to take something that happened to them or someone else and use it as a vehicle to change the world. And so as I go to guitar lessons every week trying to get better, it also brings up another lesson of just practicing. Bruce Springsteen said he used to practice days and days and days and he just sucked for years. But at about year 10 or year 12 of playing, he started to get really good at it. And that goes for all the big musicians out there. Very few are born with a natural talent to just pick it up and just go. Some do, most don't. So practicing day in and day out of either conveying your message to people, telling your own story, saying the same words over and over and over. That's what bands do. They get up on stage and they sing the same songs every night. It could get really boring to some people, and that's why a lot of bands fall apart. But the ones who just become experts at singing a song and telling stories are the ones that connect with the audience. So it's not just about telling your story. So we talk about started from zero. As soon as I put that phrase into my brand, that's what connected with the audience. That was my story, but it turned out to be a lot of other people's stories too. So the stories that I go through, I put out on camera and in Instagram and Facebook all the time because I know now that my story connects me with the audience. Because what you go through technically is a vehicle to make money. So as a company that helps people write books, it's amazing. People's stories not only affect other people's lives, but it gets them opportunities. One of our clients actually got a phone call from a movie producer to fly out to LA and see if they could turn his book into a movie. That one story in his book connected that person with that individual in LA, and it just, a light bulb went off. And so they saw opportunity, probably because the book was great and the story was fantastic, but a way for them to make money off of them. And so your story can be a vehicle for you to make money and for other people to make money. So the greatest storytellers out there, I don't think they do it for free. I think they do it because they love it. But the ones who know they have really something to offer, they're going to charge for it. And I find it insulting whenever you ask a storyteller to cheapen their costs or, lower their price, because what you're doing is devaluing their story. So if you are out there and you're trying to do that to either bands or, video creators or small businesses, you're devaluing their story. And that's just wrong in my eyes. The greatest storytellers know their value and they do it over and over and over, practicing. I mean, I've been practicing for months now and I'm still not where I want to be, but I'm slowly getting better and better and better. The same thing was with my business. I didn't know what was working until all of a sudden, after year 8, I put out there, I started from zero, and just things started to fly. That was my story, and it changed the direction of the company. I knew then that it wasn't just about helping people write books. It was about helping people become the hero of their own story. But you also have to teach them how to do it day in and day out and be proud of it. So are you telling yourself a story to keep you where you're at? You probably are. Or you're telling yourself a story to progress you every single day. Who are your heroes when it comes to storytelling? Who you look up to pretty much defines who you are. Because when the push comes to shove, chances are you go back to that default setting and you think about what your hero would do in that situation. And that's why Zero to Hero, our documentary, which features many of the most successful people on the planet, it shows that they weren't just given everything. They turned something from maybe a negative into a positive. And they did it day in and day out for years. And eventually people remember them because their story was either contagious, memorable, or was just repetitive. So if you're out there and you're thinking about, well, who are your heroes? Start listing them every day. Put it down on a piece of paper. Remind yourself who you're chasing. Think about the greatest storytellers in your life. Maybe it's a mom, a dad, or a grandfather. What do you remember about them? And think about how your words, your experiences can be put out into the world and affect other people's lives, even after you're gone. The greatest storytellers leave a legacy. They create these songs, movies, pictures, videos that live on forever. You're a storyteller. You know you are. Just start putting more stories out there. Put yourself through more stories. And you may become someone else's hero. Oh, I like this one. What is your favorite Tom Hanks movie? Hands down, The Burbs. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but he goes against the Klopeks. He's in the suburbs. He digs up in the neighbor's basement. It's a pretty wild movie. So check out The Burbs, the hair Klopek scene. By far, fantastic movie. Great question. Of all the books that you wrote personally, which one is your favorite? I'd have to say I have 7 books out there. My favorite book is the newest one, Hero Booklet. And the reason why is because it's generated the most leads, it's the most honest, and it's the most straight to the point of different lessons and things that I teach people already. I broke it down to only 7,500, 8,000 words. And so people can read it in a much shorter time. And it's already, within the first 2 or 3 weeks, it generated more leads than any other book before. And it generated more money directly, which is crazy to me. So I think it just comes down to every book becomes a chess move. And because it's at book number 7, I already have enough steam built up and people are able to want to read it without much marketing behind it already. Mike, are you an Android or an Apple guy? Well, as you can tell, I'm a Droid guy. I cannot stand Apple. I bought Power Beats before, and they gave me nothing but problems. So that was my last little shot at being an Apple person. So Android, I'm a big believer in unique and individualism, and I believe that Android represents that more than Apple. So that's why I like Android way more than Apple, and I feel bad every time I talk to someone with an Apple phone, to be honest.